Just under 12 months ago, when I walked through these gates, I made a number of promises to the public of Northamptonshire and to the men and women who work in this brilliant force that we were going to change the way that we operate and the way that we work to make sure that we can provide the very best level of service that we are able to the public of Northamptonshire. Well, here I am 12 months on, and I thought it only right and fair that I produce a report, an annual report, that gives you an indication, an idea of the kind of things that I've been up to over the previous 12 months. That report will have a link in it as well to the Police and Crime Plan, which is set by the Police, Fire and Crime Commissioner. And again, you will see that the two link very closely. The one thing that I did do when I arrived here was to set the force priorities. So this was about changing the way that we operate, fighting crime and protecting people, so that we were absolutely clear that we are the police. And we fight crime and we protect the most vulnerable within our communities. And already the public are telling us that they can feel a difference in the way that the police are responding and reacting to the incidents and crimes when they're called in. What was also important was that we set a clear policing plan that gave focus for the organisation so that it could look at those areas that you, the public, had said were of concern to you. One of the key areas that I had to work on was reducing demand, the amount of calls that were coming out to the front line, which was basically hampering and hindering them in their ability to add the quality to their work. So the initial investigation team, which has been up and running now for a number of weeks, are taking a significant number of calls and incidents out and dealing with them at the earliest opportunity. That's better quality of service for the public and actually allows the officers at the front end to add the quality to those crime investigations as they are deployed and dealt or dealing with them. I said I was going to make a clear commitment to protect staff, and I've done that. So with additional funding from the Police, Fire and Crime Commissioner, we've uplifted the number of people that carry taser, an additional 50 officers now carrying taser in and around the rural areas as well as in the urban conurbations. Again, to make sure that equality was being seen right across the force, I now set up and chair the Equality and Diversity Board, and that's about making sure that there is fairness right across the whole organisation and that we are working towards being representative of the communities that we serve. It is about getting pride back into the badge of Northamptonshire Police. This is what I've said, we've got to get pride in the badge and that we own some of these issues and we want to deal with these issues in the Northamptonshire way, in the way that the public of Northamptonshire have told us that they want us to deal with it. So what have I done then in the last 12 months to make sure that we can achieve that objective? Well, the first thing that we did was set up the dedicated serious and organised crime team. So they're dealing with cross-border activity as well as some of the high-level criminals that are acting in the particular county. We've seen significant results and a number of arrests that have taken place over the past few months, and that will continue to happen. I said when I came here that roads policing was inadequate, it was fundamentally flawed and really was not getting the attention that it deserved. So the dedicated roads crime team now is up and running, and they are out there dealing with that criminality that takes place both on our roads by criminals and by those people who think that they can drive with impunity and that the highway code doesn't apply to them. It does, and they're doing great work in that area. Domestic burglary was a key concern for mine. Too many burglaries taking place, and so we set up the dedicated burglary team. We've seen a reduction in domestic burglary of over 35% so far and still falling. That was as a direct result of the public telling us that they wanted something happening with that, and that's what we've done. Again, the dedicated missing persons unit in terms of protecting people. Some of our most vulnerable people in society are our younger people, so getting a dedicated missing persons unit was a priority for me. That's now in, that's now working and having significant results too. You may have heard of the Community Initiative to Reduce Violence, SERVE as it's now known. That right across the country now is being recognised as good practice, and that started here in Northamptonshire. That's dealing with those people who are on the periphery of getting involved in gangs, knife crime and so on, or who are actually already involved in gang culture. We're seeing people now starting to come out and withdraw from that, and we're diverting them away from that level of activity. Some of you may have seen 999, What's Your Emergency, which is back on the screens in October. Again, that's putting Northamptonshire Police back on the map for all the right reasons. So what's next? Well, that was the first 12 months. The annual report is out, and we will keep updating every year on the developments and progress as they happen. Thanks for all your help, and thanks for listening.